Okay, so today we're going to spend day 2 discussing half angle formulas. And that's all that we're going to be doing for this section. So today all we're going to be focusing on is the half angle formulas. Yesterday was double angle, today is half angle. Now if you notice, there's quite a few of them. Make sure you get those down, make sure you don't screw up the signs. When you get those down, we will go ahead and continue on. And notice there is a plus or minus. Yes, that is correct. Now what I will do is explain what that plus and minus is when you get done. Alrighty, so the half angle formulas again. Let's briefly go through this. This says sine of theta over 2 equals plus or minus. The plus or minus depends on what quadrant the angle is located in. So remember, sine is positive in quadrants 1 and 2. It's negative in quadrant 3 and 4. So if the angle is located in 3 and 4, you're going to put a negative to your answer. If it's located in 1 and 2, you're going to put a positive to your answer. Same thing with cosine. Notice the only thing different between the two is the sign. This sign right here. Okay? All right, tangent, notice, has 3 formulas. Okay, and those are the 3. So let's go ahead and look at a problem. Find the exact value of cosine of 112.5 degrees. Now, whenever you get something with a decimal like this, you're generally going to think it's a half angle formula. And so what you need to do now is figure out what angle, when you take half of it, gives you 112.5. The easy way, double 112.5. That's the easy way. What is it?
225.
225. So I'm going to take 225 and I'm going to divide that by 2. So now what I need to think about is I need to look at this angle right here, 112.5. What quadrant is that in?
2/3.
Quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, is cosine negative or is cosine positive? I think it's negative. Okay? Now, how do we know that? Remember, you got that little chart. If you remember, you can look back on that. And so here I've got 1 plus cosine of 225, and I'm going to divide that by 2. That's the formula. All it is a matter of plugging in values to the formula.
Do you have to do 1 plus cosine 225 divided by 2, or can you just do 1 plus cosine 112.5?
Can't. Nope. You cannot. The 2 goes to both the 1 and the cosine of 225. If you didn't catch that, the question was, could I just do this? Basically meaning dividing the 225 by 2. No, you can't do that, because the 2, in fact, goes to both the 1 and this. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that. So using your pink sheets, what is the cosine of 225?
According to negative sheet.
According to your pink sheet, it is negative root 2 over 2.
That is.
Now this is where things get really interesting, because we've got a lot of simplification that needs to occur before we can jump to our answer. You've got a fraction within a fraction. So what we need to do is get a common denominator here. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. And when I do that, I end up getting 2 minus root 2 over 2, all divided by 2. Okay, now for those of you kind of wondering, how come it's over 2 over 2? Well, first of all, this one right here, that is your first over 2. Okay? This one down here is your second over 2. Now, what we're going to do in our next step is combine those.
Can you just cancel the 2's?
You can't cancel them like that. Okay? You could only cancel them if it would be like this. Okay? You can't cancel them as they are there. And so what you can do here is combine those 2 2's. And so really what it ends up being is the square root of 2 minus root 2 over 4. Now our final step is to split the square root. Okay, so when I say split the square root, that means I'm going to take the square root of the top, which is 2 minus root 2, divided by the square root of the bottom. What is the square root of 4? 2. And that is your final answer. Yes, you have a square root within a square root. That's not unusual when you use a half angle formula. For those of you that are kind of wondering, how did we get to the orange step? This is how we got to the orange step. What I did is we did that over that. Okay, and then that's where the 2 came from in the denominator. So this is basically just like using a formula. We're going to look at a few more, and then we'll call it good for today. So let's go ahead and find the exact value of sine of 75. Find the exact value of sine of 75. So remember, exact value means no decimals. So I've got the sine of 150 divided by 2. How do you know it was 150? Easy way is to take 75 times 2. So now I need to think. Sine of 75.
Is it gonna say that these are half angles?
No.
Then how are you gonna know?
Well, I take that back. Yes, it will. It'll say to use a half angle formula. Because you're saying this one you could use, yeah, another one. Okay, so is sine positive or negative when it's 75 degrees?
Positive.
Positive. So I'm going to use the positive one. Square root of 1 minus cosine of 150 divided by 2.
That's gross.
Okay. So let's go ahead and fill in. What is cosine of 150?
Negative root 3 over 2.
Negative root 3 over 2. So once again, you're going to notice we're going to do a lot of the same simplification steps that we did on the problem before. First thing will be to do what?
Times by 2 over 2.
Times by 2 over 2. In which case I end up getting 2 minus root 3. Oh, 2 minus negative root 3, which will be plus, over 2 over 2.
You really got 4.
But that's not in the formula.
Which is really square root of 2 plus root 3 all over 4. So what is your final answer?
Square root of 2 plus
Oh,
root 3
just a
over
second.
2.
Square root of 2 plus root 3, yep. All over 2.
Offset that.
There you go.
You can put a Ross guarantee.
Questions? All right, very last one. Find the exact value of tangent 7 pi over 12. Find the exact value of tangent 7 pi over 12. So what we need to do is find out what angle is that half of.
7 pi over 6.
7 pi over 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically this is going to be, oops, tangent of 7 pi over 6 divided by 2. So now we need to figure out which of the 3 formulas are you going to use?
I don't think I'm not choose between them.
What one do you want to use?
I want to use.
Let's use the first one. No, let's use the second one. There's no root.
You want to use the 1 minus cosine over sine?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So we're going to do 1 minus cosine over sine. So really it'd be 1 minus cosine of 7 pi over 6 divided by sine 7 pi over 6.
Is that on our pink sheet?
What is the cosine of 7 pi over 6?
Negative root 3 over 2.
Negative root 3 over 2. What is the sine of 7 pi over 6? Negative 1/2. Good job. So then now we're going to do a lot of the same simplifying that we did before. I'm going to take this times 2 over 2. So I end up getting 2 plus root 3 divided by 2,
Right.
all divided by negative 1/2.
Now we can get
Okay, now, yeah, as you were saying, now what I can do, since I notice my denominators are the same, I can cancel those out. And so I'm left with 2 plus root 3 divided by negative 1.
That's simplified.
That is not fully
No,
simplified.
You don't have a negative in the
Can't have a negative in the denominator. So it's
-2 minus root 3.
negative 2 minus root 3 is your final answer. Okay, so questions. You got a few problems you need to add. I think it's a total of 6.
Uh-oh.
7, I lied.
Oh, you lied.
So page 352, I need you to add 24, 25, 27, which are kind of from yesterday's stuff. And then I need you to do 29 through 32, which is today's. So this stuff is today's. This stuff here is Monday's. Okay, so this will be due tomorrow. Okay.
I heard that.